generative patch here. So I've got max MSP, which is going to be driving the synth. So first off, we've got max on the left, totally blank slate, and that's going into that's going to send MIDI out once I have something going into the mutant brain up here in the top left of the rack, and I've got that configured like this, using the first two channels of it are going to be notes, and then the rest is control change. Not sure what to do with that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. First off, though, we need to see if there's some sound coming through. So let's get something going with this max thing. First, I'm gonna. This is I have nothing planned. This is not really a tutorial, but it's kind of like that. Kind of just gonna talk my way through. So how I would work with a max patch. Not being a max expert, but I have worked with it for a long time in a enthusiastic, not expert way. All right, so I'm going to hit N to create a new object. I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little better, and this is going to be a MIDI out object. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to send it to the Scarlett MIDI interface, which is what is going out to the mutant brain. Now I'm going to create a MIDI. Actually, first let's just do a MIDI format. So that's going to go into here. So then here, if you put anything going into here, it's notes. Here it's control change into the third inlet. So note is going to be a list. So the pitch and velocity. So I'm going to create just a message first off. Let's see, what's the pitch? 60, that's a middle C, I think, something like that. And I'll just say 100 for the velocity. And make another one where the velocity is 0. So now this should send MIDI out, but I have to patch up the mutant brain so something happens. So I did set, this is not a total patch from scratch, it's a patch from almost entirely scratch, but I set up the no coast over here, going through Ickory just to boost it a little bit, and then into Mimeophone, because these are the greatest things, Mimeophone, no coast, and then out from that into Matrix Mixer, and onto the output, Sonobitus. So first off, let me just grab some cables. My cable arrangement is a bag on the floor. So I'm going to go CV, I'm going to use channel 1 here. Going into, let's see, the CV into the no coast, and then gate out for channel 1 into the contour. Where's the trigger? Gate. I haven't used the no coast in a long time, so let's see. Actually, let me just send something into here first just to see if we're hearing anything. The answer is yes, hearing something. Okay, so now, actually, instead of the, yeah, I also have to set the MIDI channel here, so click, now it's going out channel 1. Actually, since I'm going to bypass, not use this for the no coast, I'm going to create a note out, which is much simpler, and that'll take pitch, velocity, and MIDI channel. So this way, going to say 1. Click. Now this is set to 1. I need to set this to the scarlet again. And now I'm going to say 0. What's the best way to do this? Actually, I'm going to say make a bang object there. That's a trigger. And I'm going to create a T, which is a list of things that happen, and everything in Max flows from right to left. So this is the first thing that I type will be the last thing that happens. So I'm going to say B for bang, which is setting out a trigger, and then let's see, I guess I'll do a 120, I'll just say 100. That's just note on. So now when I hit this, it's going to send first the velocity into here. And since this is a blue inlet, nothing will happen if anything goes into here. But this is a red inlet, so as soon as something goes into here, the bang, which it wants the pitch, then it will send the note out message. So I'm going to set the pitch at, I'll just say 60. This is a message window, these things here, which I press an M to create the message window. And if I just click on it, it will work like a button. So I can click on that, and that has now sent a message out, but the message, there was no velocity yet. So, that worked. But now I need to send do another one. That's really loud, high-pitched. That turns it off. All right, there's better ways to do this. Again, enthusiastic, not expert. There's flush, which I recently learned. That will do a note off, which will turn off any held notes. So, let's see, I'm going to put that through there, that through there. It's the velocity and the pitch. So I'm going to do this again. If anyone else would like to stream at some point, do let me know, because I realize this could be a little while. Okay, I'm going to clean up the mess as soon as I have something that's starting to work. So, actually, what am I going to do instead? I have an idea. This is all. I'm going to go back to the MIDI format one here, because that way I can send it a list. Or actually, let's see. I'm just trying to figure out a way to just turn it on and turn it off. Just do a quick non-sustain. I have sustain at 0. Do I have this in the right place here? I totally have this in the wrong. This is why everything's weird. I had the gate patched into the to the dynamics instead of the gate trigger. That explains it. That explains it. That's why I was just turning on and off. This will be better. There we go. That's better. Okay. Oh, a bang flushes the held notes. Okay, great. Okay, good. Now I know what to do. Here's what's happening. Okay, so 1 is remaining the channel for note out. That's the no coast there. Flush, the way that flush works is I'm sending, when I hit the trigger here at the top, this big square, that, what it's doing is it's sending the message 100 for the velocity through the flush into the velocity for the note out. And then it's sending, after that, the next thing in the list going from right to left is a B, which is a bang, which is a trigger. And it's pushing that message here, which is 60. I'll change that to something other than a fixed button, but that's just for troubleshooting now. So that's MIDI note 60. And then it's sending that into, through this into the note out. Now, the flush, if I mouse over the input here, it gives me a little contextual menu, and it says flush pitch input, and that will trigger the note out. Bang flushes the held notes, and so what bang does is that will then, so if I send just another trigger into there, then what it's going to do is any notes that have been sent through, so at this point it's just 60, it will send that through with a velocity of 0 to turn the notes off. So now all the notes should have turned off. So that means I can send it again, click that, turn it off. So that means I want to send a bang afterwards every single time to flush this, to reset the notes, to turn them off. And I'll let all of the duration of the note on, I'll just set that with a no coasts envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to this list of things that happen. So the T means that everything after this it'll be the order of operation. So the 100 is the velocity. Basically anything that's between 1 and 127 will turn it on. The velocity is actually not going, nothing is actually being read by the velocity. So I just have 100 arbitrarily as on, and 0 will be off. And then going from right to left, the next thing that happens is it sends a trigger, a B, a bang, out of this outlet. Then I could create another bang out of there, but I can actually just use this one twice. So what I want to do is I want to send a bang first here, and then a moment later send it again into flush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a delay object, which is basically it delays a bang in number of milliseconds. So how long will I leave it on? How about 100 milliseconds, so a tenth of a second. I don't know that I'll have anything faster than that. Maybe I will. Who knows? Maybe we'll have something that's faster than that. So I'll just say 10 milliseconds. 10 milliseconds later, it will turn off the MIDI note. So I'm going to send the same bang into here. So the bang is going to go here, turn it on. It's going to go into here, wait 10 milliseconds, and then send it back into flush. So now if I click this, it's sent through once, and we're getting the delay because it's going through a mimeophone. That's why we're hearing it twice. I'll just turn that off for now. Okay, great. Now we're actually getting to some explanations here. So, that's more like it. Okay, tidy this up a little bit. All right. So now I'm going to do something generative. I'm going to start out, get these. Put those somewhere else. Don't need this for now. All right. So let's see. I was thinking of doing something initially generative. We could do things like random, create random notes. That's always general. Let's just start with that. I'm going to say random. Actually, I'm going to do, instead of random, I'm going to do drunk, which is similar to random, but it basically wanders. It's like walk in a sample and hold, where it's random, but it will only be random within a certain range. So it will go, so if I tell it 5, then basically, like if it's at 60, then it will go up or down within 5. So it won't go from 60 to 20 next. It will go from 60 to 63. And then from after that one, then it will go randomly. So, so it'll just sort of like wander around rather than just going all over the place. So it's a sort of a way to limit it. I forget exactly how to determine the entire range. So for that, what I do with these max objects all the time is I click here, I click help. And you are not seeing it right now, but I've gotten a help window which explains how it works. So it's saying the arguments are the maximum value and then the step size. So first off, I will say the maximum value, I want it to be, let's see, for MIDI, what's a regional? I'm just going to say, I'm going to keep it within 3 octaves. So 3 octaves is 36. 12 is 1 octave because it's chromatic. So 36, so that's 12 octaves. And then I'm going to say it's only going to go up or down no more than 5 notes at any one time. Now, since I want to get it up into the range of sort of middle C-ish area, I'm going to say I'll add, what is that, 48 or something like that? I'll just create a new object, say plus 48. So now it will be 0 to 36 plus 48, and that will be this number. So now I'm going to make it an integer, which is more dynamic than that. I'm repatching it. This is very modular friendly. So instead of that fixed message, now this is a whatchamacallit? An integer that will move around. All right, so I'm going to put that. That's going to go into there. Oh. I have to make this process this more here. So this is every time this receives a trigger, see you can see the numbers are moving around there in the integer window. But I'm not getting the full thing because it's not going through. So let's see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add integer. Oops, I for integer between the bang, the 100 and the bang. So now what's happening is we don't need that anymore. Don't need that. So what's going to happen is there. So now this number is going to come into here, and when it receives a number, the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to send 100 for the velocity out of the right outlet. The next one, moving from right to left, will be an integer, so it's going to send out whatever number is coming in. It's going to send that number out, so it'll be this number here. And actually we can sort of, it doesn't have to even go through that. I'll just patch it directly from the integer outlet into the flush, but we'll keep this here just for monitoring so we can see what the number is. And then the next one over is a bang. So then it will send the bang into the delay. That might double. Oh yeah, so that bang will, let's see, is okay. Yeah, that worked. So the bang then is going to delay and then come out the flush. And actually, because it's to the left, we actually don't even have to do the delay. It could just happen immediately, but I like the delay just so we don't overload the, slow things down slightly so we don't overload the MIDI. Because if too many things happen at once, it could get sad. All right, so now you can see every time I hit this, it's giving me a different number. So let's set this up so it's just going regularly at first. So actually, so the way to do that would be a metro, which is a metronome. I'll say 500 every 500 milliseconds it will go. Trigger, we'll turn it on. That's a toggle. Something's happening now. Great. All right. goes out, it will send that information. It will trigger that. So we can see it's changing. Right now it's in the 600 range. So now I'm going to put this outlet, the walk outlet, that number. And so now what we've got here, this is basically like a Krell patch. So every time it triggers, it's going to go through here and set a random, this is basically like a sample and hold. Every time it triggers the metronome, it's going to also send out a new random number. And I'm going to patch that number into the right inlet, which will update the interval. So right now 500 will now be overridden with whatever number comes in. So we can see this is the number of milliseconds. So it's because it's the drunk, it's going to gradually increase or decrease within a range of 50. The higher the number, the longer the interval, the slower the thing here. And again, these integer numbers here, these boxes, are just for us to monitor what's happening. If I was building this into a patch that needed to be efficient, once I knew that it was working, I would probably just get rid of anything that's not necessary, because Max is a little bit processor intensive with its visualizations. So I just get rid of those. But for now, they're fun to see. Okay. You know what? I've got this matrix mixer going, so I'm going to send this instead through. Oh, wait, I don't have this. How is this patched in? Now I'll just turn on the mimeophone. Let's do a little skew. Ooh, my frame rate seems to be really low. Well, it doesn't matter. I've just increased the range which the drum can go to 100 milliseconds, so it'll be a little more dynamic. Start sending some control change information out. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Now this is what we've got for the MIDI information coming out of going into the mutant brain. So I'm going to use gate 3 here, or CC is MIDI CC on it's CC number 21. Wait, what? Oh, and the default channel. Can't remember whether the default channel is 1 or 10. I think it's 1 actually, so I'll change that back to 1. And now, okay, so I've got here, it says control change number 21 will out of CVC. So, I'll just the integer there. Okay, control change needs the controller number and the value. So I'm going to make a message here. The controller number that I want is 21. That's the controller number, which as you can see in this CVC, it says CC number 21. And then, this is just like programming, I'm going to say $1. So now anything coming into this inlet in the message window, if an integer comes into here, or a string of any sort, then it will, I guess maybe just numbers, then it will come out of the, it will get sent out with that. So I'm gonna, actually instead of this, I'm gonna make it a slider, S for slider, so that it will limit it to the, by default, MIDI max does the 0 to 127 range of MIDI, so that'll help us. So I'm sliding that up and down. And I'm going to monitor this here. If I message, I'm going to do another message window. If I go into the right inlet, then anything coming into here will write the entire message. So you can see it's making a list of 21 and then the number that's coming in. And so a list is what MIDI format is expecting here for the input. Here it says MIDI format note on. So it's expecting a list. You see at the bottom there at the end it says list, pitch, and then velocity. So, oh, sorry, no, that's for note. Control change is the third inlet. It wants controller number and then value. So that's this list here that we're getting is controller number and then value. So every time this changes, it's going to send that list into here. So that's now sending that onto channel 1. So let's do something that we will be able to actually tell. So control, oh, I need a longer cable. I bought a bunch of these 5-foot long cables because of this new setup. So, okay, CVC, I can see something's coming into it because the light is lit up. I'm gonna patch that into, what are we gonna patch it into? patch it into the hickory, the filter cutoff. First off, see how that sounds. Okay, nothing's happening right now. Oh, that's because it's just fixed there. So let me move this slider up and down. I'm gonna lock this. Nope, lock. That's working. Happening here because the input is oh, it's only doing a 5-volt range here. Okay, well, it's working. That's the point, so we can have that do something else, like how about the rate on Mimiphone? That's fun. Okay, there's something else to control that in a minute. Oh, you can't even see. I forgot to turn off that thing. Okay, great. I did not clean up the mess. Okay, so again, what's happening here is this slider is sending a value from 0 to 127 through this message window, this message object here into the MIDI format. So every time this, and it's sending it out on channel 1. So control change 21 is now patched into the rate on Mimiophone. Okay, I'm going to say random 127, so that's going to be between 0 and 127 every time this receives a bang. Yep, okay. So I'm going to put that into there. I'd rather have that, I'm going to slew it. So that would be the line object. And I always forget how this one works. So I'm going to open up help. Line the best way? I think it's a timed ramp, yeah. I feel like this is overcomplicated what I'm trying to do here. I want to slow that change down so you can hear the warpiness, not just jumping. around with it. All right. The line. From 50 to 120 in 500 milliseconds. Okay, but then how do I change this? Ah, great, okay, nice. So, what this is doing is if I'm sending a list, then it will go to the next number over however long. Actually, now do I even need grain in milliseconds? Ramp time in milliseconds. Let's see if I just set this to 500. There, can I just send this an individual number? So integer, put that, bang, 500. So let's type 2. There, I went to 2 in 500 milliseconds. I'm going to say 127. Oh, no. Okay, I'm always going to take half a second here. So again, I'm going to do this T. It's going to make a list. So the second number is going to be the integer, the number that's coming in, and the first one is always going to be 500. So it wants 500, the ramp time. This is the grain in milliseconds. Not sure what that means. 20 milliseconds is, how frequently it updates. 20 milliseconds is the default according to help, which is fine. All right, so I'm going to patch that in there and that there. So now, whenever it receives an integer into here, the first thing it's going to do is say 500 into the second inlet, which is how long it's going to take. It seems to need that every single time. And then it's going to send the new time. So I'm going to type 0. Okay, it's going to go to 0 in half a second. Now I'm going to say 104, and it's going to go from 0 up to 104 in half a second. Yep. Now I'm going to say 80. It's going to go from 104 to 80 in half a second. Ah, yes. Now that's how it works. Great. So this way, and I'm going to put this random number in instead. This is how I build a max patch. Try something out and then plug that in once I figure out how it's working. And so now this line can go into that. We don't even need this. Actually, I'll send it there, but then I'll also send it here. This slider is now just our visualization, which is not necessary. And again, if I was to build a patch that I wanted to sort of live beyond this, then I would get rid of any visualization like that because it slows the system down, but right now it's useful to see what's happening. I'm going to slow it down because it's while it's changing that it sounds really cool. So I'm going to make it 900, so just under a second. I'll make it a second. Round it up, why not? I've just changed the zone of the mimeophone. Okay. New object. Counter. So every, let's say every 8 times, every 8 metros. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There. Okay. Every 8. Oh, that's actually 9, so I'm going to say 7 because it will go from 0 through 7. 5, 6, 7, 0. Okay, so every 7 now I want it to click that. And so to pass so that it knows, I'm going to say, what is it, route? So now every time this number is 0, it's going to send it through. So every time this hits 0, that should bang, and it should change this. Boom. Now every time it bangs, it's going to reset the max, the count max. Maybe that has to be a bang. Oh, yes, that's Stack Overflow. Clean up the mess. Okay. Boom, there. Okay, I'm gonna do a little no-coast patching here. I'm gonna, every time this gate goes, okay, I'm gonna patch it clock. I'm gonna patch this clock into the tempo instead of the gate, so now I can route it different places. Oh, wait. Oh, that didn't help actually. I need to mult it. So I'll just use a stackable. Okay, from the gate input, I'm gonna also gate, I'm gonna trigger oh, that's still useful. Okay. Okay, now the slope is also going, and the slope on the no coast is going into the the random out every time that happens into the mix between the pure triangle and the folded version. Just thinking about what to do next here. This is very Krelly. This is like basically a very overcomplicated Krell using the computer. So I'm going to do some other stuff with that soon. But the first question is, what else to do? What other voice? Should I use AI 011 VCO? Should I use Castor and Pollux? What do I have here? I'm going to use stereo dipole as some FM thing. I'm not really feeling like a sawtooth here. I'm not going to go with Castor and Pollux. Of course, down below we've got the Bleep Bloop 2000, which is always fun. You can go with stereo dipole. Okay, patching. Stereo dipole is going out of... Okay, I've got the dipole B patched out. I'm going to do the resonance of A. So the first side of the stereo dipole, not sure how the levels are for my speaking, but probably no one's listening anyway. Is anyone there? Hello? So stereo dipole A is going to use that as an oscillator. So I'll turn the resonance way up on that. I'm not sure if I can hear that at all. Okay, so stereo dipole I've got going out of pole B. A is automatically routed into pole B, so A will be the oscillator. It's going to be a sine wave oscillator, but it's got two poles, so it's going to go out of that into the B side, which is just going to be filtering. And then that is currently patched out into the mini mix, which is going out into Reversio, which is going through the matrix mixer and on to where we should be able to hear it. So let's crank the resonance, see if we can hear anything. Nope. Oh, okay. So maybe I have to patch this. I know it's normal, but maybe it's not right now. Okay, I'm going to say the B in will come from the dipole out of A. Oh, that's piercing. That's loud. Make that in series. And furthermore, that should have a, I'll give that an envelope. I was thinking about just having it be a drone, but actually no, this is the wrong voice for a drone. So I'm going to go through the AI synthesis VCA. The dipole A side out into the input. Send the no coast into the FM input on, we'll see what happens here. That's something. All right. I'm just going to make it another exact same version of the first thing. So I'm duplicating that bit, only setting this to channel 2. Click. Oh. Just set that to Scarlet. Okay, this is going to be exactly the same thing at first, and I will change it up after. Not long enough cable. Okay. Got a crazy krill thing happening here. Not really what I was aiming for, but I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do one more thing, and then I'm gonna actually make it a little less random. I'm gonna replace the random with other things that aren't random, but still generative. First, though, I'm gonna change this. I'm going to add a second. What's the second output? I assume it's 22. All right. Make this go. Actually, I don't even need this to be a line. This is just going to be random outputs. This is sending random outputs now out to the other MIDI CV output. I'm going to make this set the something with a javelin. The javelin's perhaps rise or fall time. This is the envelope generator here. Release time. I'm going to change it to be the release time. I kind of actually just want that to be an LFO in a way. Right now I'm just gonna grab, steal from the other one, whenever that random changes, so this one will too. Okay, now this is all I'm going to do for this one, for the voicing, but what I'm going to change is the randomness. And rather than having random, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take a clock. I'm going to take the time. So there's an object in Max, which is date. It will output the month, day, and year, the hour, minute, and second, and 1/60th of a second. Wow, that's pretty precise. First off, let's just give it a metro every, let's do, I mean, it could be every second is good enough, but I'll say a quarter of a second. Turn that on, so it's gonna, oops, what does it want? Oh yes, okay, it wants a message of either time or date. So time, I'll do time because the date's not changing dramatically right now, so I won't bother with that. So now it's outputting time on the second one. So let's just look at that in a message. So in California it is 12:47 and 44 seconds. So if we want to make that into something that we can use, we need to unpack the message, the list. The list right now is these three numbers coming through all at once, separated by however it separates things. But what we say is we say unpack, and this will unpack a list into separate components, and we have to tell it how many are coming in. It will how many outlets we want. So there are 3 coming from the date right now. So I'm going to say the type of element. So I can say I. So it'll be 3 integers coming out. You could also just say 0, 0, 0, which is the type that you want, integers. But anyways, this is number 1, number 2, and number 3 of the list. So I'm going to plug that into here. And now we have 3 integers coming out. There's the hour, the minute, and the second. So now we have some data which is always changing, which I can plug into things. So that could be generative. Hello, hello. So what I'm going to do is, rather than having one of these random things, I'm going to save this as a second one. So save this so I can always go back to it. So hang on. All right. Hi, microphone's back. I turned it off for a second. Just explaining just a little bit of what I'm doing, but then I'm going to turn the mic back off, is I am patching in using the date and time now to replace all the random stuff. So instead of being random and totally crelly, I'm using the second, which is updating for us every second, and the minute, which is updating every minute, to do something instead of random. And then also, let's see, hour. The top of the hour is coming up in 5 minutes, so I'll figure out something that'll happen there. That'll be cool. So right now I'm doing the rhythm with that, but then I need to figure out something with the pitch as well, so the pitch is a little less crelly. Okay, still working on that.